Sure.
All right, so tell me who you are and how you relate to the Catholic worker and the whole philosophy, and why are you here?
Okay. I'm Father Karl Kabot. Next month I'll be 78 years old. A Catholic worker right now. I'm living in CK Catholic Worker House in St. Louis, and I'm here. I always kind of basically come, as old as I am, just to see people once again. Huh?
Yes.
This is the enjoyable part.
A lot of friends here, don't you? Yeah. It's always
you haven't
fun.
seen one. They haven't seen many, most of them, almost all of them, for a whole year, and maybe a year or two because they couldn't come last year or whatever. Huh? And so that's a big reason to come in. Nothing really new in many ways, but very enjoyable. Very just visit with the folks. Do you have anything else that you can think of?
But you're still an activist, aren't you? I mean, you're still out there protesting and being an activist like you have always been. So tell us, what have you been involved with in the last 6 months or whatever?
Well, I attempted to celebrate the 4th of July, our Interdependence Day, at the new nuke plant that is being built in Kansas City, Missouri. I was a reject. They just kept me for 20 hours and turned me loose, so they rejected me. I figured, well, maybe at some point, I know there's lots of people die from war, you know, Afghanistan, Iran, Iraq, etc. And you know, if I'm 78 almost, and if I should happen, like way back when in '84, Helen Woodson and I got 18 years. Paul, my brother, Father Paul Kabot, got 10 years, and White Brother got 8 years. Huh?
Wow.
And of course, it was reduced by half, except for Helen.
But that was still a long journey.
Longer term.
Yes.
Anyway, and you know, it would be nice. People die from war, and it might be good to have somebody die for our peace, in a sense. Huh? So if I would have happened to die in prison, it's no big deal. Something that most people don't know, there was a man with World War I, the first Catholic resistor to war, Benjamin or Solomon.
Yes. And
he refused induction with the First World War.
I see.
And he was sentenced to be executed. In fact, I don't know how long he spent in, but he was never executed, but he finally got out. I think he died a year or two after he got out.
Wow.
Maybe his health was this was First World War.
Yes.
Not even the Second World War.
Right.
Which is, most people don't know of Ben. But he has a quote that I just found recently, in the last 6 months.
Yes.
Either war is wrong, or Jesus was a liar.
That's a good one.
I kind of like that.
Yes.
So
oh, wow. So, I mean, even though you're not a young pup anymore, you're still adopting some new ways of thinking in some ways, or defining things in a simple way, right?
Yeah. Still trying to plug along, you know. Even like there was Father Bill Blix in Washington State, 83 years old, acted. I think he and Sister Ann Montgomery are out now. I think I'm so old I don't keep track of everything, and I try to put one foot in front of the other every day.
Yes.
But no, I've spent a little time in jail, and I feel very good about it. You know, I'm really freer in jail than out.
Yes.
For me personally.
Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Okay. You know, you've done what you can do, and so my, I guess, basic principle is do what you can do and then sing and dance. Well, once you're in for peace witness or anti-nuclear, or I'm mostly anti-nuclear, also anti-state murder, which is they call execution.
Yeah.
Really state murder, huh? But do what you can and then sing and dance. That's my kind of principles, I guess you might say. You've done, so I'm really, in a certain sense, freer in than out.
Yes.
And but my last one, which was on the 4th of July, they didn't keep me. They rejected me. Although
were you a little insulted by that?
No. I mean, I enjoy myself outside. Like here, this weekend here, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's nice to see people that I hadn't seen for at least a year, some of them maybe longer.
Right.
So I couldn't probably tell you what we had for supper last night, but I live kind of for the moment.
But who really cares about that, right?
Yeah, that's true. It's past. I mean, you can't change it.
Yes.
I mean, and remember it. Well, that's all right for those that. Oh, one time this was in the major seminary. My brother, actually Father Paul, he was 1 year ahead of me. And one day he acted strange all day. And finally, after supper, he brought his face up to my face and said, "Happy birthday." It was my birthday, and I didn't even realize.
Oh, my God.
So you realize.
Oh, really?
Really.
Whoa.
I was thinking, was it something Paul ate, or was it this, or was it that? Why was he acting so strange all day? Until after supper, then, you know, I would walk up and put his face next to mine and said, "Happy birthday." Well, oh yeah, it is my birthday.
Man.
So I'm kind of, I personally think the moment is the moment to live.
Yes. Yes.
And whether it be what happened last week, yesterday,
exactly,
or even the future. You know,
yeah. Wonderful.
I can't think of anything else that might be of importance.
Oh, I'm sure we could talk for hours here, and I might want to get you back again.
Sure.
I mean, but what's happening down at the Catholic Worker now with you folks? I mean, I notice you have a lot of activism going on and so on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I'm in St. Louis right now. There are really like 9 or 10 Catholic workers. Some of them don't even classify. I mean, I had some friends in Salt Lake City, Utah, a Jewish young woman and a Mormon man.
Yeah.
Because they had asked me to witness their marriage, I don't know how long ago, and they're in a sense thinking of starting a Catholic worker, a Jewish and a Mormon.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
I mean, you know,
as long as you're, as long as you're building the kingdom of the Holy One.
Right.
I don't even like to use the term God because God is masculine, Goddess is feminine. So I try to use the term Holy One, our Creator or love or whatever, and. So that, there's a lot of things going on in St. Louis. Carrying out, which has been going on for like, 30 or 35 years. They can take care of 9, and again, there's no paper trail. If somebody moves out, who's the first one that calls, if they fit the criteria, they're not with domestic violence, or they're not alcoholic or druggies, they can move in. Whoever calls first. And so there's no record kept of who's next. Or
waiting list or anything like that. Right. Keep it simple, right?
Yeah. Because all of the workers there's probably, 3, 4, 5, 6, I don't know how many here from carrying out. They're all free volunteers. See, all they have to do is meet the expenses. Basically heat and water and electricity, because much of the food comes from Trader Joe's or Whole Foods. But that's the, you might say, mother house or father house. But there are probably about 7 or 8 other, in a sense, Catholic workers. There's CK, Catholic Worker House, and there's Terry and Carolyn there, and their kids. And across the street is Castle House, and Father Tom Herford. Across the alley from us is Sister Ruthie, Catholic Worker House. And there's others, Grace House. And go ahead.
Yes.
We should get this done pretty quick here.
Great. We'll finish up. We'll wrap it up here in a minute. Yes, start organizing. Yes. So, Father Karl, we're going to continue this later. But before I let you go, in a short version, we'll continue. We'll do another session later. But you've done a lot in your life, and what will you define as one of the perhaps happiest moments of your life, a period of your life that you would look back and said, if I could relive 1 month, 1 year, 5 years, where and how and what circumstances would that be?
Well, it would be, I went to the Philippines from 65 to 68, came back to the States 69, and 69 to 73 I was in Brazil, so I came back in 73, and once I got involved with Justice and Peace, you might say ministry, whatever, this has been my happiest part of my life. Like I say, when way back, Silo Fruity Nooks, Helen and I got 18 years, Paul 10, and wife had 8. And so that, plus well, since I went out to Baltimore, Maryland, the Bishop's Day of Peace or whatever, and nobody involved me, nobody told me. And I thought, well, maybe I'll talk to a bishop or two and say it was something, in regard to war and nuclear insanity and whatever. And so there, when I got back to the house, I was staying there at so-called Jonah House in Baltimore, and they were talking about going down to Plains Georgia. This was in, what, 68? I guess 68 when Jimmy Carter was voted in but not yet sworn in, so we went down there, and 9 of us took a bus attempting to let Jimmy Carter, president, who was then later President Jimmy Carter, that nuclear weapons are insane. And we spent 4 days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. They turned us loose because we had a mayor's court, which is kind of a kangaroo court. And Monday, one of the guys, John Chushard, is a lawyer and wrote, I don't know, whatever, brief or whatever you call that stuff. And when the circuit judge, when he came around Monday, he said, "Get him out of jail. What you've done is unconstitutional," and whatever. So we were charged with blocking traffic. We weren't on the street or on the sidewalk. We were on the grassy part. The second charge was parading without any permit. We were not parading.
You were not official.
We were standing there with that banner. It was probably like from here to the van there. Anyway. And the third charge is failure to obey the police officer.
Oh my!
That was true.
Wow.
He said you couldn't do it, and we did.
Wow.
So 9 of us were arrested, put in jail for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday let out.
And you remember this as a happy moment of your life?
Well, this is the best, in a sense, because see, up till then I had been, yakety-yak talking, but here,
action.
Action, huh?
Yes.
And, I, in a sense, felt frustrated. So since then,
great.
I don't feel frustrated. I just do what I feel.
Carl, we'll continue a different session here.
Okay.
We'll do this picture here, and then maybe in a little while we'll get back to it again. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you. What a great pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.